Hello and welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith and today we are going to be doing an unboxing for Mansions of Madness Suppressed Memories, the figure and tile collection. Now this is the second expansion box essentially that you can purchase in order to catch up your second edition copy or base game of Mansions of Madness to the first edition. So essentially what this expansion is giving you is tiles and figures that were available for the first edition for those of you who didn't purchase the first edition monsters and tiles that are in this box. So essentially it's a way to catch up to what current owners of the first edition already have. So if you're a first edition owner and you already have this content, this will be of no value to you. However, if you are someone who's new to Mansions of Madness, the second edition, and doesn't currently own the prior first edition stuff, this is exactly the video you want to see to determine whether this is something you want to add to your collection, because these expansions are quite useful from what I'm gathering. Now, this particular expansion here comes with, based on the back here, I'll just flip it over, it comes with one rule sheet, 17 map tiles, 8 plastic investigators, and 15 plastic figures. So I'm just going to do a quick zoom in for you guys so you can see kind of more on the back of the box. But this is essentially what you're getting. And very similar to the other unboxing I did, this one requires the Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition to play. And it does say, similar to what I'd said, includes plastic figures and tiles from the first edition expansions, Forbidden Alchemy and Call of the Wild. So what it's doing essentially is each of these boxes or each of these expansions that are coming out, they're replacing expansions from the first edition. So this Forbidden Alchemy and Call of the Wild, I'm assuming, were expansions for the very first edition, and this is your way of catching up with the second edition. Hopefully that makes sense. I know it sounds a little confusing, but for those of you that are brand new to Mansions of Madness, really the best thing to do is probably just purchase the second edition content, unless you get a steal of a deal in purchasing the first edition content somehow. But essentially I didn't, and because I didn't, I had to purchase the second edition stuff as I needed to, and ended up getting an okay deal as well on the new stuff. And now I'm looking at this box in front of me and kind of curious to see what's inside of it. So let's take a look. So the very first thing it says is explore the unknown again. Now for me, I haven't explored anything yet. I'm just unboxing these things for you, but I promise you a playthrough is coming which will not only cover the base game material first, and then we will start to implement some of these extra expansions that came from the first edition slowly into the content as we go along. So let's open this one up and see what's inside, because that's what we're here for, is it not? All right, so I'm going to use my wonderful arcade knife to cut this open. And we're going to pop this open here and take a look on the inside. So like the previous one that I unboxed, you've got yourself everything down the center. So holy, this guy's massive. So if you can see here, this friendly character here is a humongous monster with a massive tongue and all kinds of tentacles. He kind of looks like a tree with legs, and not a happy camper, but this is some massive beast that obviously is one of the main figures, if not the main figure of the expansion. Very cool. I almost don't want to put that down. That's really, really cool. It's got some really, really nice detail. Let me open them up. I think you guys want to see this, not just behind a plastic wall. Let's take a look at this guy, because he looks crazy big and really cool. This is not someone I think you're going to want to run into in the mansion. Look at the size of this guy. Let me get some, there you go. There's some detail popping for you. So now you can really see it, like insanity. Like that will be fun to paint. Oh my gosh, he's got mouse on every single side of him. Okay, that's just traumatizing. So yeah, that's really cool and horrific all at the same time. So that's the biggest beast of this particular box, from my understand. This is, of course, what you've seen in previous unboxings from me. Of course, these are the bases for the Monsters Investigators within the game. So I'm not going to open these up because really you just got different sizes and things like that. You guys are familiar with that from the previous unboxings. This one here has a... Oh, here we go. So we got some monsters. And investigators never seem to be packaged in the same as the investigators, so they're always separate. But this just seems to be a crazy pile of stuff. Oh, there's also this really nasty thing. What is this? This thing's huge as well. What am I looking at? There's miniatures buried within it. It's stuck to all kinds of stuff. Oh my goodness. that thing looks horrendous. I don't even know what that is. It's like a gigantic, I don't know how to explain that. It looks like a brain. Well, it's got a mouth on that side. It's got some mouths everywhere. That looks horrific. I don't know what that is, but if I see that in the mansion, I'm running, regardless of what happens. I'm getting the heck out of there. So that's creepy as heck. What a really cool... Those are some really cool looking guys. I mean, I would not want to run into those guys. They look pretty cool. What else is in this bag? Let's see. We got ourselves, again, some flying creatures that'll probably be coming out of the woodwork to attack us in the mansion. Very pleasant. We got, oh, here's some different stuff. We got some, looks like these are like kind of like slugs that probably pop out of the ground, looks like. Those guys are pretty cool. Some good detail on them as well. Something that you don't want to see in a mansion. What else? Looks like you got some actually regular sized guys too. And it might be some type of cultist and or priest or something like that. So other guys that are probably just going to creep me the heck out as I run into them. These are... Yeah, these are scary looking too. What the heck are these? Wow, really cool. I like the miniatures, but yeah, they don't look pleasant either. And then of course some like gargoyle. This kind of looks like a, what the heck? It does look like a gargoyle, but his face sure doesn't. Some kind of crazy winged creature. There's a couple of them actually. So I'm not showing you guys every single one. I'm skipping a few and putting them over here. But actually for the most part, I think I have actually shown you all of them. So this one here, I don't know what these are. This is one guy by himself. Kind of looks like looks like Santa. It honestly does look like Santa. I don't know what that is. And I'm sure Santa doesn't belong in this mansion. But, and then these guys are, or girls I should say, look dead to me. They look like zombies. So that's pretty crazy. I don't know what the heck I just looked at. They look like a lot of people you do not want to run into. Oh, of course, the investigators. Now this is the cool part. I shouldn't say that. The whole bloody thing was cool so far. I just don't know what I'm looking at yet because I haven't incorporated this into the game. But the thing I love about these big box expansions for the second edition is the amount of investigators you're getting back. So if you don't own the first one, like as of right now, I have 8 in the base game, 8 from the previous one that I already did, which I'm forgetting the name. I think it's Reoccurring Nightmares was that one, yeah. And this one's Suppressed Memory. So 8, 8, and 8. So you're talking 24. Investigators? That's craziness. So that's a decent amount of guys. So like here's a whole bunch of new investigators. I'm going to put them all into my hand here so that you guys can see them. Some of them are all wedged together, jammed up. But I'm going to spread them out here so that you guys can kind of see the different ones. Hopefully with enough detail in the shot that you can pinpoint what you're looking at. So there we go. There is your 8 new investigators. Again, I don't know the names of each of them, so bear with me on that. But yeah, very cool looking. Some of these are really unique looking, like that guy there. He's got the top hat and the cane. Wow, some really, really cool looking ones. So I love that. I love the fact that they include. I just like the fact there's so much variety between the different investigators. Because at the end of the day, who you play in this mansion is going to have a huge pull on your success because each of these guys have different stats and all this kind of craziness. So a lot of this stuff is going to be pretty wild. And I don't know. It's kind of crazy actually. Let me see. 8 investigator postcard figures monster. Yeah, that's wild. There's a lot of stuff there. Okay, so then let's take a look at this. And again, we get another massive set of tiles. Unless we didn't get enough before, we're getting more now. So let's take a look at these. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these open. We obviously like a real nice big pile of tiles, and I gotta show you these. I'm definitely not gonna make you go through the pain and punishment of seeing me unbox this and then not pulling these out. I want you to see the types of tiles that you'll get in the game if you purchase it. Now this is of course not the base game, it's the expansion, but still, this is something that you may or may not be interested in. You don't already own this from the first edition. So here you go. You got, now what we'll do for this maybe is just back it up a little bit, like that. And so we got ourselves what looks to be an old well. We've got ourselves a cave entrance and a rotted path. We'll flip this over. We've got, ooh, a river bend. So you can actually go down the river, pig pen, and a spruce grove. Interesting, okay. In here we've got ourselves an office. Oops, sorry about that. Got ourselves an office up top. We've got ourselves an old orchard, sorry, abandoned shack, kind of in the middle of it. So somewhere where you can probably get caught and cornered, most likely. You got another cave type entrance here. This one here is a hilltop, so you can actually go up on a hilltop looking down over the edges. It's kind of cool. We did that one. And then this one seems to be really heading outside a lot. So this one's a ritual site. You got an observation room, so some more stuff from the mansions. This one's a holding cell where you can hold people. That's creepy. Marshland, look at that. So really getting outside the mansion in this one, which is cool. Some storage there. I do like that. The dungeon cave. Doesn't sound pleasant. A dungeon cell. A torture chamber. Oh, of course, because every mansion isn't complete without a torture chamber. And then a campsite outside. What's on the back here? A gigantic pond. And a, what is this? Oh, a scarecrow. Just kind of like a field with a scarecrow in it. Interesting. Got ourselves an old forest. And this is a huge tile. So this one's one full tile. Big one. Massive. And then on the opposite side, a huge sawmill. Wow. Very, very cool. I like this so far. The barn. Like a huge barn room. Very cool. And then a massive river crossing bridge. That's so cool. Oh, I love this. I don't know. I'm already looking at this. I'm like, man, I want to play this already. The hidden laboratory, control room. What is this? A hallway. Just craziness. Oh, there's more in the back. Graveyard. So you got like an open grave. You got a back path and a greenhouse. This one is a cave. You got a cave bend here. And then this one is a morgue. Of course, that's pleasant, right? Quarantine room here in the bottom. Over here, ooh, that's cool, a rooftop. So you're up on top of the roof. Old oak tree. This is wild. This is so crazy. An outhouse with a dark path. And of course, what is this? This is an operating theater, because that wouldn't, finding that in a mansion wouldn't make you want to run out. A generator room and a river rapid. So there you go. That is essentially the rundown of all the tiles that you get in this game. That's just craziness. So yeah, that's absolutely nuts. The one thing that I will mention, and I think this makes sense, and I don't want to say this because I like, just take this with a grain of salt in case I'm incorrect, but from what I understand, in the base game, there's a conversion kit, and I showed you that in my unboxing. Now in that conversion kit, I think, I'm almost 100%, what it does is it gives you player boards for all the investigators that you receive in not only the suppressed memories, but the nightmares expansion as well. The suppressed, or not the suppressed nightmares, but the, I forget what it's called, it's a nightmare one. Reoccurring nightmares. So for reoccurring nightmares, you get 8 investigators. For suppressed memories, you get 8 investigators. But I've noticed, like, hey, where are the player boards? Where are the actual cards that show your sanity and health? I believe if I crack open that, the conversion kit, that's going to have not only the things I need for my second edition, but it also covers the first edition stuff. So it's really like a way to get the editions merged together if you have a kind of a crap shoot of a bunch of different products all over the map, and you need to get them all on the same page or up to date. So that's where I'm going to probably end up looking to find those player boards, because I think that's where they're going to be. And of course, and the final thing in this particular unboxing is the reference sheet, which just again references what you purchased. So shows you the components, shows you the enemies you've picked up, shows you the credits, things like that, and gives you a monster figure sheet. Now, I want you guys to be aware that, like, it doesn't talk about expansions or scenarios in this. From what I'm seeing, it doesn't say like, ooh, this comes with one scenario. When you go ahead to the app and you actually choose to open it up and unlock things, which I could go over on another date, I'll actually do a video potentially separately, which will show you guys kind of how the app enables things and disables things in terms of scenarios. But for now, I'll just show you kind of on the app where the particular one would be. So for instance, like as of right now, if you jump into Mansions of Madness, you can go to and I hope this is decent enough to see it, but this is the second edition here. You can see from the previous video I had the core, I did the reoccurring nightmares, I enabled it. So now I just did the suppressed memories. So you go ahead and you would enable this. And now I've got all 3 of them enabled in the app, ready to go. The one we're going to be covering next in the next video is going to be Beyond the Threshold. So that's the one that I'll be doing in the next video in order to cover that content. So, but just so you're aware, I'm certainly not putting all of this in and doing it all at once. Now, and it also wants you to understand, when you purchase this stuff, if you're brand new to it like me, you don't want to go ahead and purchase everything, dump it all into a box, and just enable everything in the app and go willy-nilly, because I think it'll be too much craziness at once and you won't be familiar with the content in the base box first. So my advice is, you know, if you're interested in this game, or so far you're going, wow, this really looks like something that I could really get lost in, and you want to pick up the base game, purchase that, play that, and see how you like it before picking up the expansions. The only reason I kind of went crazy was because I was able to make a decent deal, and it just worked for me at the time. So I kind of just did it as a bundle, and I also knew I thought this would be a perfect fit for this channel because it's a single player game with a app controlled DM, so that's perfect for me. But for you, you might look at this and go, well, I'm hesitant to spend the dollars to say whether it's worth, this game is going to fit me and what I want. But again, hopefully that's what these unboxings are giving you guys, as an idea of what you can pick up or see inside of these expansions for Mansions of Madness. So this is essentially the end of the Suppressed Memories unboxing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully this gave you an overview of what you get in the box. In the next unboxing for Mansions of Madness, we're going to tackle Beyond the Threshold, which is the latest released expansion and truly the only expansion currently on the market that is new to the 2nd edition. So in other words, never been done in the 1st edition before, in my understanding. So this would be truly the newest stuff on the block, and I think that's going to be cool to open up, take a look at that. It has a lower price point than these big box ones that catch you up from the 1st edition. So in other words, because I bought the base game and I own the 2nd edition, these are good for me because these are going to give me content that most people with the 1st edition already have. These are, you know, more expensive than the Beyond the Threshold, which recently came out, which is a true expansion to the game. So there's a lot of kind of intricacies with the expansions, and if you're confused or if I'm not doing a good job explaining them, definitely jump on Board Game Geek, look up Mansions of Madness. You'll find it pretty easy to kind of wrap your head around what's going on there. But at the end of the day, just think of it like this. You've got a 1st edition that came out a long time ago. You've got expansions that came out for it, and when they redid the 2nd edition, they wanted to make sure that everyone met in the middle. And essentially, regardless of what you purchased and things like that, you were able to acquire all the content you needed and also have everything you need to convert things. And they've done that with the base game of the 2nd edition for Mansions of Madness, and then these are simply just to catch up the people that are new that didn't buy the 1st edition expansions and whatnot. And again, there's no requirement to buy this stuff. You can have just as much enjoyment out of the base game and be done with it. So it's totally up to you. This is just going to unlock and add new potential variations to existing scenarios and all that kind of stuff. So and new monsters and stuff like that if you don't own them. So anyway, that's enough for this particular expansion. Hope you enjoyed the overview. Hope you enjoyed the unboxing. I can't wait to play this. I will be diving into the rulebook in order to get this to the table because I want to play this with you guys. I want to see your reactions. I want to see what you think. I think this will be perfect for this channel, and I'm really excited to get going on it. This, along with a few other games, are kind of in the pipes. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Until the next time, keep rolling solo.